Hey everybody, Avatan and Hybrid are back with another sick podcast. This week we are going to be going over a new series on Disney Plus called The Acolyte.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hybrid, why don't you give us a little, little bit of background on The Acolyte?
One thing I want to add is the Jedi's are pretty shitty. And I've always had this stance that the Jedi's may be the protagonist, but I don't think they're necessarily good. I don't think they're bad either, but they're and I've heard this part said before, they're basically a cult. And you know, I remember the hide your kids meme. That's what the Jedi remind me of. They're like, "Oh, you got powers? Come with us." Well, I don't. My parents don't want me to. Well, let me talk to the kid alone. You know, you want to be a Jedi. Look at this lightsaber. And you're like, well, I mean, if you're, gonna show me your superpowers and your lightsaber, of course I want to be a Jedi when I'm like 4 years old. And then the Asian Jedi, I forgot his name, was like, "Don't worry, I got kidnapped at a younger age than you." As if that makes it any better.
His name's
The
Soul, by the way.
Skull
Soul.
story. Oh, Soul. Well, Soul got kidnapped at the age of 4. In my mind, because 4-year-olds can't make conscious decisions. But uh, I find that part of the Jedi Order and several parts of the Jedi Order regarding emotions and stuff to be the cause of their downfall. One of Anakin's problems was his emotions, and the Jedi Order did not allow him to deal with his emotions correctly and appropriately.
Yeah, I
You can
think
say it was destined to happen all you want, but watching the movies, you can clearly see that Anakin, while not being treated badly, the whole emotional constraint on him is the issue.
I find it odd too in the Acolyte how much emotion a lot of the Jedi display. Um, it's different. Right down to Soul's very attached to Osha, like very attached.
And he was called out on it too.
Yeah, I mean Osha for being a Jedi and training so long as a Jedi. Well, I mean she's not a Jedi anymore, but
Right.
she is nothing like a Jedi. Like her thought
Oh no.
process is not.
That's probably why she quit.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't blame her for quitting. The same thing I don't blame Ahsoka for quitting.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I, I don't even blame Dooku for quitting. Uh Dooku didn't have to turn into a bastard, but his reason for quitting was pretty sound. The Jedi are corrupt, and I
Yeah.
agree with that. The opening fight scene, I'm sure everybody noticed, was super Matrix like. I don't really think that's a bad thing. I think the kind of Matrix fighting kind of worked well for Star Wars
Oh, yeah.
in this aspect.
Well,
But I
and it
do,
helps having Carrie Ann Moss in there. You know.
yeah, for sure, for sure. The only thing I noticed was the fight scene could have been better. The like lots of the hits were obviously misses, whether they were blocked or not, they were gonna miss. And it's something that stood out to me. Like at one point, the main character OSHA violations threw a kick, and the kick was so far away from her face. I was like, that didn't really make sense to me. So I think one of the problems that people have had with Star Wars lately is that the fights aren't as good as they used to be. The A lot of people didn't like the prequels as far as acting goes,
Yeah.
but most people agree that the prequels have the best fights of all of Star Wars live action. And I think for Star Wars to regain its former popularity, I think they need to work on the fight scenes being entertaining and just better. I'm not saying it was bad, but they definitely could have did better for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too it comes down to the whole concept of the acolyte and trying not to use weapons. So being, at the beginning with May, uh, when she's going after Indara, like she's not using weapons, or at least not trying to, until later on in the fight when she realizes she can't win without him. But
Oh, and my bad, I called her OSHA and
oh
not
yeah,
it is May, but yeah.
but you get to see a lot of the side of the Jedi that you normally don't see. Mainly the Force side. Like when you think Jedi, you see light, you just think lightsabers. And yeah, you
Right.
see lightsabers in this, but it's not. That's not what it's all about. You get to see kind of what the Force can do,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of cool.
And the hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, maybe a little bit, but the fight scenes weren't bad at all. They were
Oh
good.
no, they weren't terrible. They were better than the sequels fight scenes for sure. But they're not nearly as good as the prequels. And just as a harsh criticism, the way Star Wars is treated these days, I think they need to do everything they can to ensure the experience for their viewers.
Oh, for sure.
Because Star Wars is a heavily judged franchise. I think we can agree on that. And Star Wars fans, I personally feel like expect near perfection.
Yeah. That
And I go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say a lot of I think is happening right now is they really don't understand what's going on. It's not, conforming to your natural Star Wars feel, or not going to the lore that everyone's known for so many years. People are kind of scared of it. It's a different universe now, and it can go in any direction. That's what they chose to do, so they can make more content for everyone who wants content. So the complaints are, you either get content or you get nothing. So I mean, I don't understand the complaints. So
I think Star Wars is is a weird franchise. Judging the first 3 episodes just as a show, the show is very intriguing. Just as a show, not Star Wars. Replace lightsabers with long swords
yeah,
or katanas or whatever, and change it from Jedi to some other kind of mystical order of some kind. And I think the show gets a better rating, personally,
yeah,
at least from the fans. I think once you slap that Star Wars logo, the fans expect a certain thing.
but yeah, there's a
And
certain standard it's got to be held to. So.
right. And as I told you before, I wouldn't consider myself a Star Wars fan, even though I've seen damn near everything Star Wars there is, except for Solo
Mhm.
and Andor. Other than that, I've seen everything Star Wars, all the Clone Wars, the cartoons, the Bad Batch, the movies, all of them.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't say that I'm super into a lot of the lore nuances
yeah,
as some people are. So those kind of changes don't really have any effect on my overall experience.
yeah. I think this one's, it's a good watch. At least from what I've seen so far. You have your classic, light side versus the dark side. With maybe in the dark side and O should be in the light side. It's you could just tell that's the direction that everything is headed. Uh,
Wasn't that what Star Wars is about?
yeah, I mean, and you know that's the feel that I get. I enjoyed the first 3 episodes.
the And you said you had some articles.
Yeah, um, you know, so watching through the first two episodes played kind of similar,
Yeah.
they were kind of filling in a lot of the information that you need about the characters, small flashbacks here and there to find out kind of about their past. But then you get to episode 3, which to me was just a kind of a giant flashback. You could see
Right.
the origin of May and Osha, and also all of the Jedi. Uh, and you get to see, the Order of Witches, which is another new concept to Star Wars. So there was a lot going on in this episode. Um, May and Osha are coming of age, and it's time for them to be accepted into the Order. You always have your light side and your dark side fighting against each other. There's a lot of controversy though in the two of them, and how they were created. Um,
Right.
Currently there's a lot of people who think that uh, having them the way that they are takes away from Anakin being the chosen one. The Force created Anakin. And in this case, the Force, was, used to create, May and Osha.
Right.
So, I mean, it's very, the similarities are, a little uncanny. The May and Osha have two mothers. There's been long rumored that, Anakin was supposedly created by two fathers that planted the seed into his mother using the Force, the dark side of the Force. So I mean, there's a lot of similarities that you really can't look past, but it is much different because
It takes place, I'm assuming, thousands of years in the past,
no,
the
no,
story in general.
well, no, technically, this is only 100 years before the Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not.
It's still 100 years.
Yeah, yeah, so it's not that far off.
Also, I think there's witches in the Clone Wars. I don't know if those are the same witches, but there were witches in the Clone Wars. So mm, that is not like a made up thing, at least, if people like Clone Wars or were definitely a coven of witches in Clone Wars. I don't understand a lot of the outrage, bro.
Yeah,
People are okay with Amazons, you know,
yeah, no,
and there's lots of stories that are good and bad about how Amazons get kids. Uh, I don't think, I don't, as of episode 3, I don't think anyone's trying to replace Anakin. I don't think that's something that they're attempting.
yeah,
The story starts off a little similar, but so do a bunch of origin stories of superheroes with their parents being dead. But that doesn't make them Batman.
yeah. No, I definitely agree. I mean,
But yeah, I thought episode 3 was good. May's freaking evil. At least so far, she's freaking evil. She was like, "You're my twin for life, and you're not going anywhere." I was like, "Damn," basically.
dude, and then right after she leaves him with, "I'm gonna kill you." Like,
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm focusing on that sort of thing more on like the controversy because I'm like, this chick is unhinged. She was basically went to I can't have you, no one can, and I
yeah,
was like, that's crazy. That's psycho.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. I do like the direction that they're going with with this you know, with this series. Um, I'm really eager to figure out who the master is, because they don't really give too much info at all on who it is.
So far, not that I could see.
Yeah, and it's the only thing we know is that it's referred to as a him, which kind of makes you think that it's probably not one of the witches.
Right.
But we really don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, you see the one clip uh of the person, at the end of what, the second episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a lot to make out. Just keeps you guessing. So, and we're only 3 episodes in, and I have heard that even through the later episodes, they still keep you guessing and like who it's gonna be. So it should be fun to find out.
I'd recommend giving it a watch. I'd definitely say a person's gonna like it depending on their investment in Star Wars. Oddly enough, I think the least invested you are in Star Wars, the more you'll like it. And I think the more you're invested in Star Wars, the more you may be annoyed by it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand like both sides. I do think, as I told you offline, I do think that fans sometimes expect way too much from their franchise. I think they need to go into things with a more open mind. Um and just allow yourself to enjoy something, even if it's a C, right?
Yeah.
Uh I would rate the sequels a C, right? I don't think they're the best movies in the world. Did I have a good couple hours entertainment per movie? Yeah, but I don't really go on the train of disliking or hating something. I don't really get that strong of emotions provoked from entertainment because I'm in it. It sounds cliche, but I'm in it to have fun.
Yeah.
So even if it's just me cracking jokes about how dumb Ray looks when she's swinging a lightsaber, I am entertained, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I think she does look stupid when she swings a lightsaber. I think her and Kylo Ren's fight was not that great, but it didn't make me angry.
Yeah.
It made me laugh.
No,
Um,
exactly. Uh, yeah, I love the Star Wars universe, man. Me and you met in the Star Wars universe, so many many years ago.
no Diddy, bro. Can you correct that statement, bro? Like, damn, why
Correct
you
it. What
gotta
do you
say it
mean?
like that? You said it like we met in the Star
Oh
Wars
yeah, we were
universe,
playing Star
bro.
Wars: The Old Republic.
Thank you.
Always comes back to video games.
I really like that game, bro.
It was a great game, man. I mean, it touches into a time in Star Wars that they really hadn't done. Similar to the Acolyte. I mean,
I
y-
had thought the rumors were that the Acolyte was gonna be in the Old Republic period. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not as much of a Star Wars fan to know if 100 years prior is in the Old Republic period. I don't know. But the Star Wars the game we played was definitely in the Old Republic period, and I think that period was good. I think maybe separating the Anakin and the witch force birth thing a couple thousand years would help people's anxiety about the issue. I do think that maybe only having it 100 years apart is a thing, but also the problem with it is it's a precedence that someone could be born from the force. So now it could be added in any story, and they're witches, right? So
yeah,
that's just how I look at it. They're fucking witches, and witches do witch ass shit. So, eh, you know, if anybody was birthing babies from the force, it seems like it would be a witch, right?
yeah.
And it seems pretty up the line of necromancers and witch behavior, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I think the time period that they're referring to for this is called the High Republic.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, it's the golden age of the Jedi. It spanned hundreds of years, going back in Star Wars history. As you can
Right.
see too, that like there's Jedi. It seems like there's Jedi everywhere. Like there's more Jedi in this series than I think I've seen in any. They're like kind of scarce, and you know coming into the yeah, well, especially coming into the six movies, and then Jedi's aren't all over the place, but in this, Jedi's are everywhere. It feels like.
Well, yeah, in the prequels, there was thousands of Jedis, if
Oh
I
yeah,
remember right, at least hundreds. My opinion may change on the next 3 episodes, but right now I would rate the series a B, just a
yeah,
B. A good 80%, and I don't find anything wrong with that. I don't expect everything to be an A.
yeah. I'm giving it a B minus right now, and that's just because I want to see where it's gonna go.
What's a B minus? Could I say a 80 is a B? So 79.
Yeah, I'll give it a 78.5.
That's fair enough. That's a C plus though, bro. I guess it depends on where you went to school.
Yeah, no, I want to see where they go in the next couple episodes. I liked the first two episodes. The third episode, it was very informative. I know why they had to have it, but I don't. I need, you know, I want an episode that's going to move along a little faster and have some more excitement.
You just want the mystery revealed, bro. It's nagging at you.
Yeah,
I don't.
you know who it is?
I don't know who it is.
Guarantee I know who it is.
The Terminator.
Shout out to Brittany.
I was about to say they can add some Britney Spears to this, and
Oh man.
it would be more interesting. So and I think Britney with some knives as the acolyte
Oh yeah.
would make things a lot more interesting. There'd definitely be an A for me. That meme where she has the knives. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy hit me baby one more time going off in the
Stab me, baby, one more time.
back. All right, everybody. That was a fun episode for us today. We're gonna be doing some more reviews on, things like this. This is what the people want. We're gonna give it to
Yeah.
you.
People want Britney.
All right. We will see you soon. And we're out.
Yeah.